His first team foul, first half, South Dakota State. That's a good record to Green Thompson. Shooting one, Thompson.
Thompson misses the free throw. Rebound down to Mayo. 18-12, 11-11 on the clock. Make a wish. Gary at the point. Over to Easley. Now Moores on the right side. Easley. Back to Moores and back to Easley. Right wing. He drives inside off the glass. Gary tried to get the putback. Easley saves his own shot. That missed and almost went out of bounds. Mayo got the ball back and he drove down the right side, but a foul called.
Substitution, number 42.
So a foul called on Jalen Miller. Free throw good from Gary. 18-14, down to 4-point deficit now is South Dakota State. In the front court to Jones. Weaver has it, dribbling between his legs now, driving down the left side of the lane, spinning. He'll kick it out to Miller. A three ball from him. He hits it, the 6'2 junior from Frederick, Maryland, a transfer from Rutgers, here playing in the Summit League quarterfinals. Apple hands it off to Mayo. Thinks about the drive, then he eventually takes it, kiss off the glass and down through the hoop for two more for Mayo, 21-16. Coming back the other way, McBride dribbles across the timeline, 21-17, 9-11 left to go in the first half. McBride spinning around, he almost lost the basketball, gets it back up top to Thompson. Thompson dribbling with the left hand, cutting inside now, spinning in the lane, goes up for the shot, he misses it, and the board brought down by Kyle III. Kyle III gives it to Mims. Mayo rises for three from a long way downtown. 21-20, the Jackrabbits are back within 1 point here in Sioux Falls. The crowd gets a little bit louder now. A crowd of mostly lighter blue and yellow. McBride at the top gives it over to Thompson to the left. He turns around, hands it off behind him to Weaver. Finds its way over to McBride on the right side. Spinning in the wing, 5-4 on the shot clock. Put up a shot. That doesn't fall down. Gary now has it, coming back the other way on the near sideline. Right side wing. Backing out beyond the arc now once again. One hands it up to Apple. Turns his back to the defense and gives it behind him to Mims. who bounces it to Mayo on the left side, now in the wing, now the baseline, spinning around, puts a shot up over the ORU defender. That's McBride. And there's 2 more points, and the Jackrabbits have the lead back. An 8-0 run to get that lead back. The Oral Roberts Golden Eagles haven't scored in 2.5 minutes. 22-21 the lead. McBride kick out, Weaver 3 on the left side. He misses. Lots of players go up for the board. It somehow falls into the ORU Golden Eagles' hands. The ball comes out, and our friend Tyler Merriam over here stands up in the middle of doing play-by-play and catches it. You know, he's just fantastic. I mean, who else does that? It bounces into Media Row. Tyler stands up and catches it. And the timeout on the floor. 22-21, 7.5 minutes left to go in the first half. We'll go ahead and step aside. You're listening to Jackrabbit men's basketball on KSDJ.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
If I could be you,
and you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside
Each other's mind.
walk a mile in my shoes.
walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out, and for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Back at the Premier Center, 22-21. The Jackrabbits have the lead once again over Oral Roberts here. An 8-0 run to get that lead. Nate Barnhart in the game. He hands it off to Mayo on the right side. Bounces on into Kyle III. Right low block, spinning around in the lane. Reverses it back to Mayo on the right side. 5 on the shot clock. He tried to bounce it to Kyle III. 1 second on the shot clock. He got it up in time to hit the rim. He couldn't actually get a bucket out of it. So the score remains 22-21. McBride with the ball behind his back. Sends it over on the right side to Bedford. Bedford pulls up for 3, hits the rim. And Kyle III rises high to get the rebound. Mayo over to Mims on the left. Coming up to the point, now over to Mayo. Back to Mims, right baseline. Barnhart turns around, hands it off to Mims. Mayo now has it up top, driving in the lane. A nice maneuver with the basketball, lays it in on the right hand. 24-21, make it a 10-0 run over the past almost 4 minutes. McBride gives it to Thompson. Cutting inside the lane. Stepping out now, Bedford on the left side. The lane now, kicks it up top to Thompson. Now on the right to McBride. 3, 2 on the shot clock. Pulls up for 3. He misses the rim, and a shot clock violation called on Oral Roberts. Barnhart bounces it into Mayo. 5:45 left on the clock, 24-21. SDSU again still on a 10-0 run against this Golden Eagle team. Mims bounces it into Kyle III. He was kind of running down the lane, got caught in a bad situation, took one too many steps, a travel called on him. That'll give the ball over to ORU. Mayo will go ahead and take a seat here. 5:39 left on the clock here in the first half. Bedford gets it across the timeline. He's on the right wing now. He'll cut inside the arc, pull up for a long jumper. That one falls down to Gary. He'll give it over to Barnhart, hands it off to Easley. He goes around the Barnhart screen. Mims, and now Gary bounces it down to Kyle III on the left baseline. Kick out to Gary, a three, or long. Nope, that is a three. He knocks it down. It's kind of hard to see. We're not risen a little bit here, if that's the right word, on kind of a level playing surface. 27-21 and a 13-0 run for SDSU. McBride at the top. On the right, gives it to Weaver. Back to McBride. Stopping at the lane, puts it up, and that hits the back iron. Barnhart fights for the rebound. He gets it over Deshang Weaver. A feet ahead to Kyle III. He jams on him from the right-hand baseline. A monstrous dunk from William Kyle III, 29-21, and if that's not an exclamation point on a now 15-0 run, I don't know what is. 29-21, 4.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Kyle III just disrespected someone, and we'll take a break. You're listening to Jackrabbit Men's Basketball on KSDJ.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
(29-21) and an exclamation point from William Kyle III, slamming it home off the right block. No RU's coming back on the defense. A 15-0 run for South Dakota State so far. Thompson gives it up to McBride. They've now taken an 8-point lead. McBride dumps it off behind him to Weaver. Weaver gives it now to Sir Isaac Heron. McBride over to Thompson, back to McBride. 5 on the shot clock, between his legs. Pull up for 3 on the left side. He misses the basket. It didn't hit the rim. A shot clock violation. going to be called on ORU, and another turnover given to South Dakota State. That's 3 turnovers for Oral Roberts in this game. And at least 2 of them, I believe, are on shot clock violations. Barnhart has it a couple feet behind the arc. Mims gets it into Kyle the third, the left wing, backing down on the ORU defense, puts it up over the defender, and he puts it down 31-21. A 10-point lead and a 17-0 run, and the Jackrabbits just keep piling it on. Thompson gives it to Weaver at the top. Hand it off now to McBride. At the point, gives it over to Bedford on the left. Shot clock to 10. McBride now inside the arc. Hands it off now to Weaver. Backing down on Barnhart. Spin around. He put the shot up over him, and that's going to fall down without a point as well. Kyle the third gives it over to Easley. He's standing at the point. Now on the right side. Gives it at the same spot to Kyle the third, who's going to be backing down on Sir Isaac Herron. Spinning around, a right-handed hook shot from Kyle the third isn't able to go. Still 31-21, the 10-point lead and a 17-0 run for South Dakota State. Weaver thought about the 3, decided to give it over to Thompson on the left. He turns around, gives it back out to Weaver, who pulled up for 3. That hits the rim, and ORU is cold from the field. Slow dribble up into the front court by Easley. Hands it off to Mims. Kyle the third, back to Easley, Mims, and now Gary on the left. Down low to Kyle the third, working inside the paint. Trying to spin around, he'll kick it out to Easley. The shot clock's down to 6 for SDSU. Bounces to Kyle the third. Another dunk going straight down the lane. Turning around, looking at his team. 33-21 the score. Bedford drive on the left baseline, a 3-ball coming from Kareem Thompson. That falls down. Oral Roberts hasn't scored in over 8 minutes of game time. Now Charlie Easley on the ground, cradling the basketball. McBride was in the fiasco. And a whistle finally called. 2 absolutely monstrous dunks from William Kyle III. $1:33 left to go in this first half, and Oral Roberts hasn't scored since 1848. No, 8:48. There we go. Jackrabbits currently on a 19-0 run. The last time they hit a field goal was a 3-pointer from Jalen Miller at the 10-minute, 21-second mark. We have a minute 33 left in this half. And the Jackrabbits are up by 12, 33-21. After the timeout, Easley triggers it into Mayo. He gives it to Apple. Standing at the top, he'll hand it off to Gary, who loses it and goes back and collects it. $1:22 now, the shot clock at 10. Bounces inside the arc to Apple. Working on the right lane. A hook shot for him, goes around the length of the rim and falls down through the hoop. 35-21, and now they've broken into the 20s, a 21-0 lead, run, 35-31 is the lead. Bedford on the left wing. He drives inside through the lane, no shot, and Gary comes down with the rebound. A slow dribble up the court from Mayo. With his right hand, he sends it over to Easley on the right side. Gives it up to Gary, who meets him at the point. Now Barnhart, who hands it off to Easley and gives it back to Mayo. He drives down the lane, spins around, kick out Barnhart, 3. 38-21. Barnhart hits the three. And McBride dribbling the basketball behind him. 15 seconds on the clock. The shot clock is off. Heron at the top, gives it to Bedford. 3.5 seconds left, and a whistle's going to be called. Apple going to inbound it right in front of us. 3.5 seconds left in the front court to Easley. He rises for three through two defenders. It hits the glass. Can't get it to go. But the lead is 38-21 off the coattails of a 24-0 run from South Dakota State. Both teams head to the locker room. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll take a look at the first half numbers, get you caught up on everything Jackrabbit Athletics, and look ahead to Monday's Jackrabbit women's basketball matchup. All that ahead on the Jackrabbit Halftime Show. You're listening to Jackrabbit men's basketball on KSDJ.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Hey, brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners. You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
38-21, the halftime score between South Dakota State and Oral Roberts. Number 1 versus number 8 in the Summit League standings at the end of the season. The number 1 seed versus the number 8 seed. And South Dakota State has just been giving it to the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. ORU has not scored since the 10:21 mark of the first half. It is halftime. They did not score in about 9.5 minutes of game time. Taking a look at the first half numbers for Oral Roberts, the leading scorer is Isaac McBride. He has 8 points. He's shooting 3 of 8, 2 of 5 from the field, is 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 personal foul. Other point totals are Jalen Bedford. He has 6. Jalen Miller has 3. Kareem Thompson has 2, and so does Deshang Weaver. As a team, the Golden Eagles are shooting 28.6%, 8 of 28 in total. They've hit 5 3-pointers out of 17 attempts. They've only attempted 1 free throw. That was from Kareem Thompson, and he missed it. As a team, they have 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 total team fouls in that first half, and 5 turnovers. On the flip side, for South Dakota State, 13 points for Zeke Mayo. He's had an awesome game so far, 6 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from long ranges, 2 assists, and he's played 16 minutes. The other point scorers, William Kyle III with 2 highlight reel dunks in that first half, 1 coming off the right side of the rim and 1 coming straight down the lane and putting it on the rim. Kalen Gary has 7 points. He is 3 for 3, 1 of 1 from long range, 0 for 1 on free throws. Luke Apple, Nate Barnhart, Charlie Easley all have 3, and Matthew Morris has 1 coming off of 1 free throw. He's 1 for 2 in that department. As a team, shooting 66.7%, 16 out of 24, 4 of 6 from downtown, and 2 of 5 from the charity stripe. 17 team rebounds, 7 assists, only 1 team foul in that first half compared to ORU's 5, and 5 turnovers for the Jackrabbits. As I mentioned, 10:21 was the last point that ORU has scored a point. Their last lead was at the 8:47 mark with a 21-20 lead. ORU currently on a 24-0 run that could definitely extend into the second half. We'll see what happens coming up. 38-21, the score at halftime. We'll step aside once again. When we come back, we'll get you caught up on all things Jackrabbit Athletics. Once again, you are listening to Jackrabbit Men's Basketball on KSDJ.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Just texting him back. I'm just posting a story. I'm just changing the song.
No. When it comes to distracted driving, just don't. Sending a text takes your eyes off the road for just 5 seconds, but in that time, your car can travel the length of an entire football field. Any distracted driving just isn't worth it.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To 21 to score, 3:42 left until we get the second half on the road. Glad to have you along with us here on KSDJ. Couple updates coming from the world of Jackrabbit athletics. We've reports that Kate DeVos, Tanner Sloan, Cale Swenson all qualify for the Natty, but Cardinal, he lost in the semifinals, but still qualified. So we got 4 Jackrabbit wrestlers going to the NCAA championships. He's writing something. They got first. No. They are number one? Okay. Got it. Sloan and DeVos are apparently ranked number one. Okay. So, we got that out of the way. 4 Jackrabbit wrestlers made it to the NCAA championships. The softball game against Duke, as I mentioned in the women's game, that got canceled, but they decided to pick up a doubleheader against Kennesaw State on their way down to take on Florida State later on. So they'll be playing Kennesaw State tomorrow, 7-3. Okay, so Tanner Sloan made it to the championship match. He's going to have a rematch with Missouri's Rocky Elam tomorrow. So some great stuff happening in the Jackrabbit wrestling program. Over in Ohio, Dayton took this game today, 7-3, the Jackrabbit baseball team. And Kate DeVos will face number 7, Gavin Sachs from rival North Dakota State in the championship match as well. and Swenson lost and dropped to the consolation bracket. But so four Jackrabbit wrestlers into the national tournament. Also, women's basketball today beat the 9th-seeded Omaha Mavericks 66-53, and they advance on in the Summit League Championships. Right now, them and North Dakota State are the only ones to have advanced to the semifinals. South Dakota State will take on either South Dakota or St. Thomas on Monday at, 12:30. So we got the early game on Monday. Another fun day of basketball, 4 games happening that day as well, all semifinal games in the men's and women's bracket. Reminder, we'll have all SDSU men and women's basketball games at the Summit League Tournament right here on KSDJ 90.7. As for the game at hand, 38-21 at halftime, South Dakota State is currently on a 24-0 run. Oral Roberts hasn't scored in a heck of a lot of time here. So they get the ball to start this one off. McBride gets it into the front court. He's dribbling with the basketball. He gets it over on the left to Deshang Weaver. McBride, Weaver is in there. He gets it down low to Sir Isaac Heron. All 3 starters from the first half. He spins around and tries to put it up, and a foul going to be called, as well as Heron, Weaver, and McBride. I do believe Bedford is in there, as well as Kareem Thompson. So ORU has the same starting lineup, and it looks like the Jackrabbits do as well. Mims, Mayo, Apple, Easley, and Kyle III to start off the second half. Heron will go to the line after the foul called on Kyle III. It's going to be his first. Heron's free throw is let fly, and that breaks the scoring drought. 38-22. Heron standing at the line. Lets the second one fly, and that rattles it home. 38-23, the score. The Jackrabbits still up pretty big here in Sioux Falls. Apple gets it to Mims on the left, bounces it down low to Kyle III, working on the block again inside the lane. Bounces down low. He tried to yam on Weaver, but he couldn't quite get that one to go. On the other end, Kyle III gets the rebound, and he gives it to Mayo after a miss. Coming back the other way, Thompson gives it over to Bedford. The ball went out of bounds and was kept in bounds by a tap from Kareem Thompson. Tried to keep it in bounds, did go out of bounds, and so Apple bounces it in to Mayo. Mayo gives it over to Mims for 3 on the left side. It hits the rim and falls down to ORU. 38-23, the score. McBride gives it over to Bedford. Bedford standing on the right side. Now it's going to be Weaver driving on the right baseline, and a whistle going to be called. Let's bring the room tone back. I was sounding a little bit like I was in a room by myself. So foul called on Apple. Deshang Weaver going to be at the line, shooting 2. Misses the first. His first couple of free throws. And he makes the second. 38-24. The score, Mayo across the timeline, given now to Apple. Apple at the point, now he's down on the left wing. Inside the lane, kick up top to Easley, who rises for 3 and hits. 41-24. 41 to 24. Easley now has 6 points in this ball game. Spinning around on the right wing, Kareem Thompson just kind of fell down, helped up by the other number 2 on the other side, Zeke Mayo, and both the teams will head to their respective sidelines. Timeout on the floor, 41 to 24, 18:07 left in the second half. We'll go ahead and take it with them. We step aside. You're listening to Jackrabbit men's basketball on KSDJ.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back in Sioux Falls, a 3-ball from the left side coming from Jalen Bedford. It's knocked down by Oral Roberts. A 41 to 27 game. Charlie Easley at the point. Gives it over to Mims. Back to Easley on the left side now, spinning around inside the wing. Almost gets it poked out by Thompson. Mims rises for 3 at the point and hits the rim and falls down to McBride. Dribbling up the near sideline, he gets it over now to Weaver, pulled up for 3. He missed that one. 17-20 left to go in the second half. Apple, kick out, Easley, 3 on the left side. He knocks it down, and Easley has 9. 3 for 3 from long range is Charlie Easley, the Lincoln, Nebraska native. 44 to 27 as McBride has it at the point, bounces it down to Weaver. Backing his way, it's going to be Heron backing his way down on Kyle the third, and a whistle blown down low. The foul going to be called on Easley, his first foul, and that's going to be the Jackrabbits' third. So Heron's going to go back to the line. 2 for 2 on his last trip. See if he can make it 3 for 3. Let's fly. Misses that one. 44 to 27, still the score. Just a second under 17 minutes left to play in this second half. Heron's second. He knocks that one down. 1 for 2 on that trip, 3 for 4 in total. Apple has it on the right side, dumps it off to Easley, also on the right side. He cuts inside the lane, bounces to Apple, back door. He puts it up and in. 46 to 28, 16:40 left to go in the second half. Jones back in the game for ORU, gives it to McBride, who gives it to Thompson, back to McBride, and Thompson pump faked on the left. McBride now has it on the right. They're basically playing hot potato across the court. Now McBride gives it up to Thompson, and they're both on the right side now. And it almost gets tapped away by Kyle the third. If he could have jumped it a little bit better, he might have had a straight shot to the bucket. So as you can hear by the pep band shouting 7 over and over again, shot clock's at 7. They get it in, Thompson rises for 3, and he hits it, no problem, straight through the nylon. 46-31 is the score. Kyle the third has it on the right wing, spinning around on the baseline. He puts it up and he jams on Jones. One-handed dunk with the right hand. McBride at the point gives it to Thompson, cutting through the lane. McBride on the left for 3, and he knocks that one down. 48-34, easily back the other way at the point. Off behind him to Apple, hands it off to Mims. He's at the top, driving through. He gives it to Easley, who rises. That one falls down, no good. McBride inside the lane, kicks it out to Heron, who pump fakes a 3. Now gets it back to McBride on the left. A screen set by Heron. Now McBride inside the lane, puts it up. It goes through the hoop, and he gets the foul call. That's going to be on Easley, his second, and the team's 4th. 15:07 left to go in the second half here. 48-34. SDSU still on top over Oral Roberts. His timeout on the floor. We'll take it with him. You're listening to Jackrabbit Men's Basketball on KSDJ.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
If I could be you.
And you could be me?
For just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside
each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
To 36, SDSU up over ORU here in the Summit League quarterfinals. The winner moves on to the semifinals on Monday. The season stays alive. The loser, season is done. Kaput. Look in the thesaurus for any other synonym for done. McBride standing at the line. The N1 free throw is good for one Isaac McBride. 48-37, 15 minutes left to go in the second half. Apple has it at the point. Moores thought about the 3, decides to move more up towards the top. Inside the arc now, spinning around, he gives it off to Gary. Step back 3 from him. Back irons off, falls straight to Mayo. He pump faked. So convincingly, I saw a couple fans stand up. Apple down the lane. Foul going to be called on Josh Jones. Coming into the game for Oral Roberts, going to be Jalen Miller. Sir Isaac Heron taking a seat. Mayo gets it into Apple on the left baseline. Now up to Moores, bounces it to Mims to the point. Back to Moores on the left side. Down to Mayo on the left baseline. Backing down on McBride, who reached in. A whistle going to be blown. And a foul called on McBride. ORU currently on a 6-0 run. SDSU trying to break that trend. Apple on the left, Mayo on the baseline. He moves into the wing. Dancing with the basketball, rises for three. And that hits the rim and falls down to Miller. Coming back the other way on the far sideline. He gives it backwards to McBride. He gives it to Thompson. Thompson back over to McBride at the top. And Thompson on the right. A 3-point attempt from him. A whistle coming from the baseline. Away from the ball, and a foul going to be on Matt Moores.
His first 15 foul. Substitution number 42, William Kyle III, for number 11, Magic Moore.
Kyle the third going to come in for Moores.
Entering the game for Golden Eagles, number 23, Sir Isaac Heron. For number 12, Jalen Miller.
Sir Isaac Heron also comes back into the game. Inbound up top to Thompson. Has to go back to retrieve it near the half-court line. Now standing at the arc, gives it to McBride. Straight away, now on the right. Driving through the lane, Jones up top, shot clock at 5. Driving down low is Bedford. It goes around the back of the rim and falls down eventually into the hands of Matt Mims. He gives it over to Mayo. Now in the lane. The whistle's going to be called. Third foul on McBride. As Easley will come back into the game for the Jacks. 48-37, 13 and a half minutes. The Jackrabbits have not scored in 2.5. Mayo driving through the lane. He puts it up off the glass, and he can't get the friendly roll. Rolls right back into the hands of Jones, who gives it over to McBride on the near side. Back to Jones at the point, and now over to Thompson on the left. Picking up the ball, he gives it to Bedford on the left now. Inside the wing, he drives through the lane, and he puts it up and down, stretching the scoring run to 8. 48-39, the Jackrabbits still a decent lead, but they would like to start getting some points to combat the offensive attack of ORU. Kyle the third on the left baseline, working his way down on Heron, spinning around in the lane, over Heron, and he puts it down. That breaks the drought. 50-39 the score here in Sioux Falls, the Denny Sanford Premier Center. McBride standing at the top, gives it over to Jones. He bounces it to Bedford, He takes another run at it, straight down the lane. Jones down there to collect the rebound and puts it back up. The 6'10" freshman for Oral Roberts. From Austin, Texas as well, so I was about to say not too far from Tulsa, but Texas is huge, man. Texas is huge. Apple, kick out to Gary for 3, and he misses the basket completely. The rebound falls down to Jones. We would know Texas is huge. We've been there the last 2 years. McBride at the top. It's not a dig to Oral Roberts either. They don't have football. 11 and a half minutes left to go in the second half. Thompson pulls up for 3. He knocks that one down. Moves them within 6. 50-44. Mayo dribbling up the court. Stopping Kyle the third on the left. Saw Heron reach in, so the foul's going to be on him. It's going to be his second. And the team's fourth. 11-12 on the clock, 50-44, and a timeout called on the floor. We take it with them. You're listening to Jackrabbit Men's Basketball on KSDJ.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
(50-44) the score here at the Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls. Braden Byers with you, Marshall Monahan to my left. He's not doing anything, just watching. A high lob up to Kyle the 30. Almost got another dunk in there. He'll just try and reverse laying it in, but he's not able to do that either. Thompson coming back the other way now for Oral Roberts. Under 11 minutes left to play in the second half. Is it up to McBride? We get it to Bedford on the left. He cuts inside, and he lobs it up to his own man, Heron, but he's not able to get anything going there. Mayo quickly back the other way. The left wing gets it up top to Easley, and on the right side to Gary. The screen was set by Kyle the third, but a foul is going to be called on Jalen Bedford. It almost looked like he might have gotten Gary across the face. Inadvertently, I would assume. Don't give me that look, Marshall. Down in the lane, Apple trying to put it up, and a foul going to be called there as well. And that'll be on Josh Jones. That'll actually be his third. So now Isaac McBride and Josh Jones for Oral Roberts both have 3 fouls. There's 6 fouls by Oral Roberts here in the second half, 50-44. The score is Apple knocks the first one home. His third and fourth free throws here. That breaks the scoring drought and moves the Oral Roberts scoring run from 13-2 to 13-4. As the second one is made there, 52-44. 10.5 minutes left to go in the second half. Bedford standing at the half-court line, now on the left side. Gets it over on the right side now to Thompson. He's driving down the lane, and Kyle the third and Gary went up for the block. Couldn't quite get a hand on it. It goes down the hoop for 2 points. 10 minutes on the dot, 52-46 now. And the ball's going to go out of bounds on the end line. South Dakota State hasn't made a shot from the floor in 2.5 minutes. They've only made one of their last 7 shots. Mayo set to inbound it, gets it into Kyle the third on the right wing. He hands it off to Mayo, who will drive down the lane, spins in it, gives it off to Kyle the third now, who backs down on it. Weaver, and he puts it up and in for 2. The thing that I just said about not getting any field goals in the last 2.5 minutes, that just went away. 54-46, 9.5 minutes left to go here in the second half. McBride at the top, dumps it off to Heron, who hands it off now to Bedford. Bedford at the top, goes on the right baseline and pulls up for 3, hits the rim, going high for the board. It's William Kyle III, gives it to Easley, who bounces it to Mayo behind both of them. 9 minutes on the clock, still 54-46, the South Dakota State lead. Gary driving right side baseline, put it off the glass, couldn't get the nice bounce, but he got his own rebound, put it back up on the glass, and he puts it down for 2. 56-46, a 10-point lead now once again for South Dakota State. 8 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the second half, and Kalen Gary's at the line, getting ready to shoot the N1 free throw. He converts it. Kalen Gary now has 10 points, 57-46. Just less than 9 minutes left to go in this quarterfinal game. Apple encourages the crowd here at the Denny. McBride on the right side. He tries to move up to the top. Easley dancing with him. McBride can't get past Easley. Backing him down in the lane, and a foul going to be called on Charlie Easley. That's going to be his 3rd foul, so he's the first Jackrabbit to reach that threshold. He'll go ahead and take a seat as Matt Mims will come into the game for him. Easley is 9 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He's been contributing in a lot of ways in this game. Weaver will hand it off to McBride at the top. Over on the right side to Bedford. Bedford down low now to Thompson. Backing his way in on Gary. 5-4 on the shot clock. 3. He tried to bounce it to Bedford. It somehow ends up out of bounds. Let's see who they called it off on. And they'll say it stays with Oral Roberts. So McBride is going to have 2 seconds on the shot clock. Referee blowing a whistle, encouraging the South Dakota State bench to settle down a little bit, and the shot clock's going to go off. A shot clock violation on Jalen Bedford and Oral Roberts. They had 2 seconds to inbound it. They got it in, and Bedford couldn't get the shot off. 57-46 is the score. SDSU still up on top. Gary gives it to Barnhart on the right. Now back to Mims near the half-court line. Bounces it to Apple on the left side. Backing down. He puts it up over Heron. He gets the foul call on that. There's a timeout on the floor. And the foul is going to be on Sir Isaac Heron. And there's a timeout on the floor. Under 8 minutes left to play in the second half, 57-46, and we step aside. You're listening to Jackrabbit Men's Basketball on KSDJ 90.7.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
(57-46), just under 8 minutes left to play in this one. Glad to have you along with us here on KSDJ 90.7. Apple puts up the first free throw. He knocks it down to make the score 58-46. He lets the second one fly, and that's good as well. 2 for 2 on that trip, 59-46. Bedford gives it to McBride just across half court. Now gives it to Thompson. McBride rises with 6 left on the shot clock, and he knocks that one down, no problem. (59-49). Apple spinning around in the lane, puts it off the glass, and it goes down for 2. Luke Apple, he now has 11 points, so that makes him the 4th Jackrabbit to score in double figures in this game. Kickoff right side. Bedford tried to drive inside. The pass gets tipped away and comes into the arms of Barnhart. Now coming back, it's going to be Mims. He gets to Apple, now Mayo. Standing near the top. Pulls up for 3. That hits the back iron and falls straight back down to Oral Roberts. Pulling up for 3 is McBride. He knocks that one down. No problem. Makes it 61-52. We got 6.5 minutes left in this one. Again, the winner moves on to the Summit League Championship semifinals on Monday. The loser season is done. Driving down the right baseline is Mayo. He put up a shot, couldn't get it to go. He got his own rebound, but gets fouled in the process. And that's going to be on Deshang Weaver. And Mayo, who used to be the Jackrabbits' leading scorer, he hasn't scored a point in this second half, by the way. 13 points for him right now. He goes to the line for the first time today. Hits the front iron, the back iron, and goes down. That's good, 1 for 1 so far. Josh Jones coming in for ORU. Standing at the free throw line is Mayo. And the second one is good as well. 2 for 2 on the trip. And he regains the title as the Jackrabbits' leading scorer with 15 points today. 63-52, McBride standing at the top, guarded by Easley, gets it inside the arc to Jones. Spinning around, he'll hand it off to Weaver. Now on the left side, Bedford for three. Back irons off. It's tapped and controlled by Kyle III. The rebound, that is. Forgot to mention that. Mayo gets it across half court. Now over on the right side to Gary. Stopping, gives it inside the arc to Kyle III. Backing down on Jones now is Will, spinning around, looking for somewhere to get it. Gets it up to Easley and Mayo. Shot clock at 6. Cutting inside on the wing now, and Jones swats it out of bounds. An emphatic block from Josh Jones. But the ball will stay with the Jackrabbits with 3 seconds left on the shot clock and 5:24 on the game clock. Right inside to Kyle III. He kicks it out to Mayo. He steps to the side, pulls up for three. He's not able to get it to go. Barnhart tried to jam it back home to get the putback. Not able to do that, but he gets fouled in the process. And I believe that one is also on Deshang Weaver. It is indeed 3 fouls for him, and Barnhart's at the line. He makes the first one. Barnhart hit a 3 in the first half. This is the first point since then. It's 4 points so far. This is his first trip to the line. 64-52, 5:18 left on the clock. Here's Barnhart's second. It hits the front and the glass, and it goes down. 2 for 2 for him. And he has 5 points in total. Now Jalen Bedford runs over Zeke Mayo. There's no whistle. He gets it into the front court, pulls up for 3. McBride takes a 3. It gets tapped back up in. I can't tell if that was an own goal or not. An inadvertent tap from William Kyle III. I'm not quite sure. But they'll give the points to Kareem Thompson. Now Will, inside the lane, spinning around. He tried to put it up and gets fouled in the process as well. This time the culprit's gonna be Josh Jones, the center, 6'10", 240-pound freshman. So Kyle III will step up to the line. Puts it up and knocks it down. Kyle III is 15 points now. This is his first trip to the line. 66-54, 4:43 left to go in this, the second half. Kyle III takes a shot, and he knocks that one down as well. 2 for 2 on the trip, and now Thompson inbounds it. He gets it into Bedford. He tries to drive inside the wing, stops, turns around, and gives it outside the arc to Thompson. 4.5 minutes left to go in the second half. Thompson, cross-court pass over to Herron. He hands it off now back to Thompson. He's at the point, driving, and now cutting inside the wing. Puts it up, it bounces on the rim, and a light touch coming from, I believe that was Ashton Smith. Mayo on the right side now, 4 minutes left to go, 67-56. Mayo's on the ground. He got the ball stolen away. Coming back the other way is Bedford. Driving inside the lane, put it too hard off the glass, but a whistle and a foul going to be called during that play. The foul on Gary, that's going to be his second, and there's a timeout on the floor. 67-56, 3:58 left to go in this one. We step aside. You're listening to Jackrabbit men's basketball on KSDJ.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
just texting him back. I'm just posting a story. I'm just changing the song. I'm just...
No. When it comes to distracted driving, just don't. Sending a text takes your eyes off the road for just 5 seconds, but in that time, your car can travel the length of an entire football field. Any distracted driving just isn't worth it.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
(67-56), just under 4 minutes left to play in the second half of this one. Bedford is at the line, shooting 2. He knocks the first one down. Bedford, that's his 12th point, ties him for the second in command. The second one will break that. Now it's 13 for Oral Roberts. 3 Golden Eagles in double figures here in this one, 67-58. Despite the monstrous 24-0 run, the Golden Eagles have kept this somewhat close going down the stretch. Apple gives it over to Easley on the right side. He pulls up for 3, and he knocks it down. 70-58, and by close, I do mean 12 points. 12 points is close when a team goes on a 24-0 run against you and doesn't let you score for half of the first half. McBride on the right side. 3:21 left on the clock in the second half. Spinning around inside the lane, puts it up high. It's going to be picked up by Apple, who will give it over to Mayo. A slow dribble up the near sideline for South Dakota State. Kyle III will hand it off to Mayo, coming around the other end of the baseline. He's on the right side now, inside the lane, spinning, puts it up a little bit too hard and went over the basket. He thinks he got fouled, but no whistle on that one. Bedford gets it up to Thompson. Thompson at the point now. He'll dump it off Bedford, backing near the Summit League Championships logo. Now a step back, long 2, and he knocks it down, and a timeout going to be called by Russell Springman of Oral Roberts. A 10-point lead for South Dakota State, 2.5 minutes left to go in the second half. (70-60) is the score. We'll keep it right here, just a 30-second timeout. Jackrabbit basketball and Jackrabbit sports on KSTJ, presented by the SDSU Collegian. Always partners in content, as always. So that can be found at sdsucollegian.com. There's a Summit League Championship section where one could get all the stories, features, score updates, bracket updates. You can also hear this broadcast right on that page too. So really, it's everything you would need concerning the Jackrabbits and the Summit League Championships. 70-60, 2.5 minutes left to go in the second half. Apple has it on the far sideline. Now driving down low is Apple. He turns around, tried to get it up to Mayo. It'll go out of bounds, right into the Jackrabbit bench. got tapped out by ORU, so the Jacks will keep it. 11 seconds on the shot clock, and Charlie Easley, the trigger man, getting ready to put it in. Right in front of us on the opposite side, actually. Gets it in, bounces it to Mayo. Inside the wing now, 7 on the shot clock. Apple rises for 3, and he knocks it down. 13-point lead now, 73-60. Now a 3 ball on the other end from Thompson does not go. It's brought down by McBride. He thought about the 3, gets it off to Jones on the left, and now he pulls up for 3, does McBride. That hits the rim. Kyle III goes high for the rebound, gives it over to Matt Mims. He does a little bit of a swim move to get it over Thompson. Now into the front court, $1:39 left to go in this second half. Now Easley down, stuck low on the baseline. Had Josh Jones and Bedford cornering him along the end line. And a timeout called by South Dakota State to save him from having to go out of bounds or something of that sort. Just a 30, we'll keep it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We now have 5 Jackrabbits that are in double figures scoring wise. The leading scorer being William Cowell, the 30 has 16 points. Also worth noting, 9 rebounds. 1 rebound shy of a double-double, and he has a minute and a half to do that if he wants to do it in the Summit League quarterfinal game. We also have Zeke Mayo, who has 15, Luke Apple with 14, Charlie Easley with 12, and Kalen Gary with 10. On the other side, Isaac McBride has 20, Jalen Bedford has 15, and Kareem Thompson has 20. 1:33 on the clock, 73-60 is the score. Mayo standing on the end line to the left of us, ready to inbound it. Up top to Apple into the backcourt, and he'll dribble it up across the timeline. He drives straight down the lane. He thought he laid it up and in, and a goaltending going to be called. Hit the glass before the defender came up and touched it. So the basket's going to count, 75-60. Thompson will get it to McBride at the top. Working on the right side now. Cross-court pass to Thompson up top for 3. He knocks it down from a long ways out. 75-63, and now a timeout called by Russell Springman. ORU's getting their chairs out, so I think it's going to be a full timeout. If so, we'll take it with them. $1:10 left on the clock, 75-63. And we step aside. SDSU's leading here in the Summit League quarterfinals. You're listening to Jackrabbit Men's Basketball on KSDJ.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
If I could be you.
And you could be me? For just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
75-63 the score. Apple gets it into Mayo, bounces it across, and an intentional foul going to be called on ORU. Jalen Miller going to get his second foul. 10 fouls for Oral Roberts. A double bonus is in effect, so Apple's going to head to the stripe and shoot 2. Tied for the Jackrabbit lead in points with Kyle III with 16. And he puts it up, and that's good. Coming in for Oral Roberts, someone we haven't seen tonight, Tulsa native Trey Phipps. Transfer from Oklahoma is Phipps, and the second one from Apple is good, falling away on one leg. Style points. A minute left to play, 77-63. 3 ball from the right baseline is going to fall down from McBride, no good. A long pass up in the front court to Easley to escape the intentional foul. Finally catches up with him. Heron is the culprit. Apple and Mayo embrace on the Summit League Championships logo at half court, knowing they've pretty much all but secured the win and will move on into the semifinals on Monday. Easily knocks down the first one here as you hear the chorus of Let's Go Rabbits from the South Dakota State faithful. The second one for Easley is good as well. 49.7 seconds left to go, 79-63 is the score. And the substitutions are coming in for SDSU. See the likes of Tanner Tesla, Bubs Alvarez, and Jack Hostreiter. We don't see much of him at all. Pretty cool to see them getting some minutes, well, less than a minute in the Summit League Championships. Bedford dribbles it up, gets it on the right baseline to Cam Ambery from Pearland, Texas. A 3 ball coming from Bedford. That doesn't fall down. A pass meant for Ambery gets tapped away by Alvarez, the freshman from Houston for SDSU. By the way, just to get this in here, Jack Hostreiter from Lincoln, Nebraska, Tanner Tesla from Hull, Iowa. As the crowd rises to their feet, and another ovation for a South Dakota State basketball team here today. Down to 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2. What's going to end first? It was practically the same time. The game clock and the shot clock, they'll let it slide. And the final score, 79-63. South Dakota State gets the win over Oral Roberts. They advance to Monday's Summit League Championships semifinal. We'll step aside, get the final numbers for you. Again, one last check on Jackrabbit Athletics, and then we'll set you up for Monday's action right here on KSDJ. Once again, you're listening to Jackrabbit Basketball on KSDJ.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners. Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
South Dakota State gets the win here today. Advances on to the Summit League Championship semifinals. That will be taking place on Monday at 6 p.m. More on that a little bit later. Time to take a look at the final numbers here in this one. Starting off with Oral Roberts, 3 players in double figures for them. Isaac McBride finishing with 20 points, 7 of 16 shooting, 5 3-pointers and 1 free throw, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for him in 39 minutes. And then a tie for second for the Golden Eagles, Kareem Thompson and Jalen Bedford. They both had 15 points. Thompson, 6 of 16 shooting, 3 of 10 from long range, and 0 of 1 on the charity stripe, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 turnovers. Jalen Bedford, 15 points, 5 of 15 shooting, 3 of 7 on 3-pointers, and 2 of 2 on free throws. 2 rebounds and 2 turnovers for him. Other point scorers for the Golden Eagles, those were the main 3. You had Deshang Weaver, Sir Isaac Heron, Jalen Miller, all with 3. And then you had Josh Jones. Actually got Ashton Smith in there with 2 points each. As a team, they shot 37.3%, 12 of 35 from downtown, 7 of 10 at the line for 70%, 28 rebounds, 8 assists, 18 fouls in the whole entire game, and 9 turnovers. The team high for rebounds was 7. That was Kareem Thompson, as well as assists with 4 was Kareem Thompson. Their largest lead was 10, 13:51 mark of the first half. Their largest run was an 8-0 run. Taking a look at South Dakota State, 5 players in double figures for them. Starting off with at the top with Luke Apple, 18 points, 5 of 6 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3, 7 of 8 on free throws. Then we go to William Cowell III, 1 rebound shy of a double-double, 16 points, 9 rebounds for him, 7 of 12 from the field. We also had Zeke Mayo with 15. Charlie Easley with 14. And Kaylin Gary with 10. As a team, 55.1% shooting, 8 of 18 from 3, 85% on free throws, 17 of 20. 32 rebounds total, 13 assists, 8 personal fouls, and 7 turnovers for the Jacks. Largest lead was 18. That was at the 16:45 mark of the second half, where they led 46-28, and the largest run was a 24-0 run for the Jacks. Team high in rebounds was William Cowell III with 9. Assists was 4 with Zeke Mayo. Once again, at halftime, it was 38-21 lead from South Dakota State, currently on that 24-0 run, and at the final, 79-63. So, taking a look at the updated bracket real quick before we send you on your way. South Dakota State defeating Oral Roberts will move into the Summit League Championship semifinals. Their game will be on Monday at 6 p.m. against either St. Thomas or North Dakota State, who will play tomorrow at 6 p.m. As well, Kansas City and Denver getting ready to play right after us. We are watching them warm up. Currently, the winner of that will advance to the semifinal, and then tomorrow at 8:30 p.m., North Dakota and Omaha will play. The winner of that will advance to the semifinal as well. We have our 2 semifinal participants from the earlier games today. On the women's bracket, number 2 North Dakota State defeated Denver. They move on to the semifinals. That game will be at 3 p.m. on Monday, right here at the Denny. They will take on the winner of Oral Roberts and North Dakota, which will play at 3 p.m. tomorrow. And then South Dakota State, of course, won against Omaha earlier on today. We had that call on KSDJ. And then number 4 South Dakota and number 5 St. Thomas will play tomorrow at 12:30. So to recap, South Dakota State's women's team will play on Monday at 12:30 in the semifinal game. The men will play on Monday at 6 p.m. in the semifinal game there. The women will play either South Dakota or St. Thomas. The men will play either St. Thomas or North Dakota State. And that's going to do it for us here. We will be on the air on Monday starting at 12:15 for the pregame show of the women's game, which will be, again, either against South Dakota and St. Thomas. You can stay tuned to our social medias for the announcement of that one. And then on Monday, we will also be on air at 8:15 p.m. for the game between South Dakota State and either, it's going to be at 6 p.m., that's right, at 5:45 for the game between South Dakota State and either St. Thomas or North Dakota State. If you're wondering what's going on Monday, stay tuned to our social medias. We'll have it there for you as well. But that's going to do it here for us. 2 Jackrabbit wins on the first day, well, the second day technically, of the Summit League Championships, but quarterfinal Saturday is in the books for South Dakota State. 2 wins, and the men and women both advance to the Summit League semifinals. I want to thank everybody that makes this thing possible, starting at the top from our advisors, Jim Helland and Brian Stemweddle, the director of the School of Communication and Journalism, Dr. Joshua Westwick, as well, for Marshall Monahan for joining me, sitting with me, and making this a little bit easier to do with a little bit of a sore throat, and Jordan Raditz as well, hanging out all day today. Once again, we'll be back on Monday with South Dakota State women's basketball and South Dakota State men's basketball. For tonight, I want to say thank you and have a great rest of your evening. Good night, everybody.